Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. How are y'all doing today? As you see, I am not in the studio. I am actually over in a workplace because I'm doing a business intensive today. Really neat. I've been talking about it all week. Residential service professionals. We've got our first business intensive going. Julie's in there coaching right now. I'll go back in a little bit. But wanted to jump out here and say hello to y'all and see how everybody's doing. We go live here each and every day. And if you've been here before, you know this maybe looks a little bit different. I don't know that you ever see me in front of a room full of books, but there's a lot of them here. This is a neat place. So we get to do this because of y'all. And we do it because we truthfully feel that if you get up every morning, you get up every day, you study your niche, your business, your profession for 30 minutes to an hour, you can literally move up to be in the top 5% of your industry because most people aren't studying anything. And we do that to make it easy for you. But as you see, I don't do it all by myself. I'm a plumber of 25 years, and I bring in a freaking pipe fitter to help me out. Squirt, how are you doing?
Man, I am doing great and love being a pipe fitter by trade. Ah, but I
Yeah,
learned the basics from plumbers, and I really
yes,
did,
you do.
guys. My whole family's plumbers, so I started out in a ditch, just like most of you plumbers out there, with a shovel in your hand or in a tight hole in a crawl space. That's typically where I got thrown all the time. I'm Henry Wakefield. That's my dad over there, aka Squirt, as you see down on the screen. He calls me all sorts of things. Some are appropriate, some probably not good for your YouTube or any social media out there. But happy freaking Friday, everybody. Love Fridays, one of my favorites. I like to have that reset before the next week. Stay focused, though. Most injuries happen Friday afternoons. So
Mhm.
get down the hill the right way. Don't rush through things. Don't rush decisions. Don't take any shortcuts today. That's the key. And we
I,
would like to thank. Go ahead.
I like that. That's a good way to look at it. Don't take shortcuts.
Don't take shortcuts today, especially today. Like Friday afternoon. Oh, we can do this to get done faster. Don't do it. Just go ahead and do the normal. Do the thing the way you planned it. Finish through and follow through. That's the key to it, and it'll keep you safe this afternoon. But we would like to thank LeakPro. Matt McDonough, go LeakPro. Yes, sir. Love it. Thank LeakPro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And when I say the system, I suggest checking out the complete kit at our website, leak.pro. But check out the complete kit. It's the business in a box. Comes with both pieces of equipment we build. That way you're covered for outdoor leaks, indoor leaks, anything under a slab, things like that. But also, if you're not familiar with how to do leak detection, give me a call because I offer a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas, where we've built a center to actually teach you leak detection, every aspect of it. So give me a call at 1-8888 Leak Pro, because not only do we teach you how to find water leaks, but also how to locate sewer leaks, all from the double clean out. So give us a call and let's talk about it.
And the neat thing is we get to do everything we do because we started doing on YouTube. We started YouTube just over 7 years ago. And we started it because we were trying to take marketing into our own hands. We got tired of getting ripped off by marketing companies. And the bad thing is when you get ripped off by marketing companies, you get really afraid running your business because, man, our phones literally stopped ringing. But we went and learned social media, found out about this new thing that some of y'all may not even know about. It's called YouTube. And it blew my mind what we were able to do with it. But we were able to grow, scale, and then sell our business because of that. Now, YouTube is what we do. We do it here. I've got my own channel called Roger Wakefield Plumbing Education. If you would like to learn to do YouTube, I made a webinar that'll help you get started. Go to justmattroger.com, check it out, and then come back in here and let me know what you think. And then this video is also sponsored by Residential Service Professionals. Today, we're doing our first business intensive. If you want to learn more about it, go to residentialserviceprofessionals.com and check it out. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the national news. And wildfire hardening funds, the utility undergrounding, and pole replacements. Now, stuff like this is big because, guys, there's constantly fires in certain places of the United States, and it's getting worse and worse. But fire season, the federal resilience funds now flowing into wildfire prone regions. So if you're in utility work, this is a big deal. More money's moving towards undergrounding feeder lines, replacing wood poles with the fire resistant alternatives, and installing covered conductors, reclosers, and smart switches. They aren't just check the box improvements. These are the new baseline for fire weather readiness. And Squirt, didn't we do a report last week where they're changing out poles with the plastic manufactured fire,
Yeah.
something like that?
Some of the wood alternatives, yeah, to prevent things. And I love that because nothing can go through it. You know, it's a great thing. I mean, wood's good, but guys, this is a good thing. Like, I like that they're going to move some of this more underground so that it's not even affected by fire when it happens.
Yeah.
And that's, I hate to say it, that's the direction I think it needs to head in a lot of different places too, because how long can you keep preventing what happens above the ground? Underground, you pretty much know what's going to happen. We know where shifts and things are, so you're going to create the extra moving areas and sections to be able to allow for movements if you're in those heavy movement areas, things like that, the seismic restraints.
Well, this is really neat because, I mean, of course, line workers, this is going to be a lot of work for them. But you've also got the directional drillers, civil trench crews, traffic control setups, switchgear electricians. This is a full scope project. Now, there's probably not going to be a lot of plumbing and HVAC. I completely get that. But guys, you've got to be ready for everything. And don't forget safety. Okay. Red flag shutdowns, hot weather PPE protocols are being baked into these jobs right freaking now. Pro tip from the field: pre-build splice points and stash spare wire sections to speed up the final cutovers if anything goes sideways. And Randy, I used to do that whenever we'd haul off drops. You know, if they'd send out we did a lot with the 42-foot double randoms. And anytime we had pieces over 3 to 5 feet long, I'm like, you know what? Let's save them. We may need to lay them later when we do tie-ins. And I normally had enough because the tie-ins were close fit area.
Yeah.
I normally had enough scrap pieces around to do it where I didn't have to order any pipe in.
Yeah, a lot of guys, they'd ask me, man, why do you got all that pipe standing up? And it's like, dude, do you know how often I need short pieces? Like, I build a lot of spools, things like that in pipe fitting. So there'd be times that I need a little 2-inch pup piece. Well, guess what? That's going to be great out of that 6-inch piece I went ahead and still have over there. We didn't toss yet because you know what? You might find that day you need it. And you can make it work and actually use it. And it works out pretty well that way. So I like to keep those parts around in pieces. But I also came up kind of old school where they sent us a bundle of pipe and a couple of crates of fittings and said, here you go, boys, build the room. Where prefab was a little less. But that's the thing that I love about prefab now is all the automations, and you can put all the spools you've got to cut for the whole day into the system. And it's like, oh, well, then we're going to cut all these pieces from this piece of pipe, and it'll factor it down to where it's minimal scrap. Love it.
And the neat thing I like that, if you're putting in all your cuts for the day, it may be multiple projects.
Yep.
And that may make it where you've got less drops. So I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Bottom line, small tools program. No more black hole. So we're talking money here, specifically the money that you're probably losing on small tools every week. Anything under $500, bits, blades, meters, hand tools, anything like that. They walk off the job or they get written off as miscellaneous more than you think. And smart contractors are finding a way to fix it. They're barcoding or QR tagging everything, every tool, every consumable. Assign it by tech and by job. And this is scanned out in the morning and it's scanned back in at the end of the shift. Now, Randy and I were both in the union. So in the beginning, when we were in the union supplied your tools. And I mean, I remember you could not even bring a tape measure on the job from your home or another side or anything. It would cost you money. Now they've changed it to where every technician pays for their own tools, but they've got what is it, 10 cents or 20 cents an hour
10
to
or
help cover your
15,
tools?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's actually 15 cents in the long run. Like we got a part of it and then they gave us some more later or something. Yeah.
So then what you do is you set a rule. Weekly small tools get lost, posted on each job with a cap. If someone busts the cap, PM signs off. No more guessing who torched through 6 blades. Randy took all 6 of them. Where are they at now? Oh, I don't know. They're not here.
I burned them up, y'all.
I don't know. You don't want that to happen. And then if you want to step it up, put vending machines on site. Now, when I was at Brant, we had started doing that at one job.
We have them. They have them now in their fab shop, and that's how all the welders and the shop workers get their PPEs, their everything's, so that they track and know how often do they need a Sharpie, how often do they need safety glasses, how often did they forget them, so that they know which employees to talk to break those habits. And that's the key here is you want to break the bad habits. Like the guy burned up 6 oscillating blades. Oh, because he was cutting sheetrock that was glued against some concrete and he didn't know it. Well, guess what? We figured that out. Hey, here, look at these things before you do it next time so you don't burn up all the blades for no reason. Just different, simple things, honestly. It helps you track it all.
But then, Randy, you got to make sure that you audit it and you talk to your people about it. That way they understand. If Randy's going through a new pair of safety glasses a week and Fred's going through one pair every 2 months, you come to Randy and say, Randy, what are you doing? And figure it out. Yep. Cherry on top, negotiate auto replenishment with your vendors based on usage. And then when you do this right, you'll see clearer job costing, fewer lost tools, and something even more valuable. The technicians start taking ownership. All right, we're going to jump down here in the comments real quick. Good morning, fellas. Gen X Plumber, how are you today? I hope everything is going good. Happy freaking Friday.
Yes.
Matt McDonough says, Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing and Squirt, happy fabulous Friday. Saw your video yesterday. I like the blow off for the water heater. Does it require Wi-Fi or can it operate without? It does require Wi-Fi. There's an app. Actually, it's not Wi-Fi, Randy. It's Bluetooth, right?
Bluetooth. Yeah, Bluetooth activated.
There you go. Go LeakPro. Matt says, I love your LeakPro commercial at the end of the video, Squirt. It's funny how you have the beard, then you don't, then you do. Hey, Randy can grow a beard like that overnight, y'all.
That's it, man. Look. It's here. It's back.
I know. Plumber in the Trade says, good morning, gentlemen. Next week is my last week before I go to level 1 plumbing course here in Canada. Excited to learn in the welding course and more about the plumbing system. Good for you, man. I think it's so cool the way y'all do things. Matt says, oh boy, tell me about those fires. Too much burning. Underground is way better. When the wind came through last month, it whipped out almost 100 plus poles. Oh, that is crazy. Plumber in the Trade says, my lunch break will also happen to coincide with your live stream. There you go.
Awesome.
Expect to see me a lot of me for the next 8 weeks. Okay. Plumber in the Trades, make sure you tell everybody. That way we get to see them all in here and y'all can talk about what you're learning in Canada. I love that. And Emmanuel Anthony Ortha says, good morning. Brother, how are you doing? Good to see you in here. Everything is going great today.
Happy freaking Friday, everybody.
Randy, talk a little bit about the hot work permits because they work if you do them right.
Man, they really do. Honestly, guys, rolling into safety here. Hot work permits that actually do work. Okay. Welding, cutting, and grinding. This is major stuff, man. I've been sent off of jobs because they used to tell me, oh no, you can't do that. And it's like, well, here's my permit to do it, but you're kicking me out. Okay. You're going to end up paying for my guys and you're not going to like it, but okay, my guys are going to enjoy the night off. So it worked out well. But honestly, these jobs they carry a lot of fire risk. I had some painters that were working under me. So that's what was the big safety issue and worry. But honestly, unfortunately, guys, there's too many hot work permits that end up being just paper. Nobody looks at the area. Nobody does anything. It's just a form that somebody signs and they're like, oh yeah, we're good to go. Don't worry about it. But if you really want them to stick, let's kind of break that down. It needs to clearly state the scope, the exact locations, the exact times that you're going to be working, and the person that is actually responsible for that work area. It's a major thing. And you're going to want to make it very visible right at the point of work. We used to kind of caution tape off these areas, and we'd hang a sign. Point of contact is this person. Here's their number. If you need to talk to them about what's going on here, and here's our permit. But before any flame is struck, you're going to want to check for any oxygen, carbon monoxide levels, your LEL levels, your lower explosion limits, with a calibrated monitor. And if the reading's close to a limit, you're going to have to stop. You know, a lot of areas you don't have to worry about this, but most of them, guys, you really do, especially when you start going to lower parts of buildings and things like that. You've really got to start monitoring even more. But also assign a trained fire watch with an extinguisher, not just some green apprentice. It's like, oh yeah, here, hold this. Yeah, just put out fires if they show up. Most of them don't understand, honestly, what their job is. Explain it a little more and run them through a scenario. Look, here's why we keep people out of this area. We don't want nobody getting burned up. But give them a clear escape route also, because if it starts to get crazy, they need to know how much they can handle. You know, if it's bigger than a trash can, it's probably too much. So, but you need to do that for the whole time, and they need to know what's the minimum. After they see that last spark, how much longer do they have to stay? What's the requirement for the job that they're on? And that's very important for you to be able to get that permit and everything. And it should be part of it and right on the permit. And it tells you 4 hours, 2 hours, 8 hours. Sometimes I've even seen, and it's just like, dude, like, that's ridiculous. I'm gonna have to have somebody work overnight just to do fire watch. Yeah, that's what's required in this building. Okay. Hope they caught it in the estimate.
Absolutely.
You're going to want to shield any penetrations, use your fire blankets, things like that. Any combustibles in the area, get them out of the area if you can possibly get it out. If not, triple or quadruple cover it with the fire blankets so nothing gets to them, because that's how bad things happen, guys. Make sure you look at the area. Don't just, oh yeah, we got hot work, we're good to go. Do the steps that you got to do to save that space and protect it. But if you miss disabling the wrong fire alarm or something, dude, that turns into an evacuation. That turns into a lot of time and dollars lost for a small mistake. So you're going to want to really check those spaces. And a lot of the places, they know what's in the areas, things like that. And that's the reason there's a permit. But don't let it just become a piece of paper that we're just signing off on. Make sure you're actually looking at the areas, disabling everything that you need. And, you know, when the job's done, you're going to want to remonitor it a little. You're going to want to close it out properly and make sure that nothing anywhere is smoldering. You see no smoke, no fire, no nothing anywhere. Check it for the full duration of the time that you have to.
I like that. It's great. And what's the longest fire watch you've ever had to have on the job site?
8 hours.
You did have to have an
8 hours. I had to have an 8 hour one. It was at one job. Most jobs, it's 2 to 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. 4 is
like,
what I've always seen as typical.
4s, yep. Some buildings I've had them shorter, where it's just a little 2 hour. Great, loved that. That was more of your like new builds and stuff. I feel like ground up buildings. Yeah, they'd give us 2 hours whenever we were doing our fab originally, and it was like, okay, we shut down at this time weld wise. And then we got this long for the fire watch to do that. Here, we're going to start prepping for the next day without any fire. And that would always work out well. But yeah, when you had an 8 hour, it's like, okay, well, I got to bring somebody in to actually work that shift. It's completely different. And I got to pay that differential too. So it affects, and you've got to plan that into the job. But some places are that worried about the building, and the building's important enough that they're like, look, doesn't matter. We want to make sure. So.
And we used to do a lot of that too. We would literally, we'd take a good apprentice, one that was very mindful,
sharp,
and teach him fire watch so he understood it. And then we'd let him, if it was a 4 hour fire watch, we'd shut down 2 hours early to start getting everything ready and in place, ready to lift, whatever we could do. That way he only had to stay over 2 hours, not 4.
Yep. I like that.
All right, new construction, and we're talking about arena, stadium, mini renos before the season starts. Now, the season has started now, so Most of this should be complete by now because what the real season either starts this weekend or next weekend. I think it's next weekend. But talking about the world of sports, specifically those quick turn mini renos that stadiums scramble to finish up before the season kicks off. Time frame you only get is it's almost like a school shutdown. You get 6 to 10 weeks. You may get a little bit more than that if they're smart enough to start it like as soon as the season ends. Sometimes they're not. But a lot of times it's because they've got other things going on. So you look at the night shifts and the off days. Sometimes those are the only days that you get. What they're doing is they're doing some big LED upgrades. And Randy, you talk about how low your electricity bill because you've got all LED fixtures all the way through it.
Yeah. And that's why these stadiums and arenas are transitioning because, man, that's a lot of lights that you could be saving on. So I completely get it. And that's it. These are quick upgrades that they're liking to do.
I like this because what they're doing is they're just swapping out fixtures, drivers, DMX or dolly controls for TV broadcasting. You need to coordinate aiming and test the light levels under camera conditions. That's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. Then there's audio visual. Think video walls, PA systems, and secure networking. Low voltage rooms need solid HVAC and clean power. That way there's not any problems. Then behind the concessions, grease traps, fixture swap outs, dedicated circuits, and makeup, air, or PAL, all part of the remodels nowadays. The fun part, capacity. You will find existing panels maxed out. That means temporary generators or new feeders, anything like that, because you've got to have the power to do what you're trying to do. And then don't forget the fan experience, the POS stations, the power, wayfinding, lighting, Wi-Fi zones. Simulate a game day and run test scripts zone by zone before turnover. And Randy, I got a question. How do you simulate a game day? How do you get 80 cameras in there, 70,000 people, and tell everybody, hey, y'all all log into the Wi-Fi at the same time?
Well, it's kind of like a flush day when they do a stadium where it's all hands on deck, every person on the job, everybody go find a toilet. And at this time, we're all flushing the toilets so we can make sure the system can handle it. I think it's kind of the same thing. I would say maybe not 70,000, but let's say, hey, everybody out here on the job, guess what? We're going to host a lunch. Bring your families and come hang out at the stadium. Here's the requirements. You've got to be there for 30 minutes, hook up to Wi-Fi, do some of these stress testing as close as you can get to that scenario, I feel like. Or I guess you could offer a free game. Stadium would fill up fast.
Boy, not the truth. Just tell everybody that, Milli Vanilli's coming back in concert or something. All right. Mindset growth, decision logs. Capture the why. And I love this. One of the best habits that a job site can develop is decision logging. Create a simple template, date, who made the decision, what options were considered, and the final call as to why it was made and what's next. Store it in your PMIS and review it at your weekly coordination meetings. It only takes 5 minutes, and at the end of the call, you're ready to go, but the payoff is massive. You'll stop revisiting the same debates. You'll onboard new supers faster, and you'll be in a better position to defend your work when claims arise. Randy, how do you make major decisions on a big job site when you're the superintendent, or maybe you're the foreman and the superintendent's not available?
Yeah, luckily, the way I think works very well, because at the company I was at, they gave us full rights to make all decisions, period. There was no, you have to call somebody. No, it was, you're running the job, it's yours. If you're the foreman and the super's out, guess what?
It's your job
that
too.
Decision. That's it. They're waiting for the answer, and you have to give it. Now, if you need to, sure, call somebody to ask them a couple questions to help you make your decision, but it's a decision that has to be made. But that's something that I always told a lot of people, and this is what intrigued me about this, is it would have been so cool to keep a log of all the decisions I ended up making throughout all the jobs I ran, because I was always making decisions, I feel like, and we didn't have a log. So I think this is really neat, and it would be great to teach new superintendents. Look,
Mhm.
here's kind of what the guys deal with and run through on a job, and some of the decisions that they deal with making. Are you comfortable with making all these decisions? Because I just got kind of sent out, oh, yeah, you're going to run this job. Bye. Okay, I'll run that job. No problem. I know I'll be making better money. You just don't know it yet, but we're going to have a talk soon. Don't worry. Let me get that job going. And that's how it worked. So I like this, though, being able to actually track that. Even, nowadays we got all these digitals. Let's take some pictures of it as a reminder of exactly what we were dealing with, what we were looking at. I think that's great, especially for like service people. When you run into that oddball weird thing, document it. Take some photos. Hey man, here's what I ended up doing. Here's why. And then if you want, revisit it later. Next time you're in that situation, it's like, oh, what did I do last time? Ooh, this worked really well. Send it to the other people in your team so that they all know. Keep it in the know for everybody. That's what I really like here.
I love that because I remember being on big jobs and going in and talking to the president of the company at the time. And I remember we were talking about money and raises and a review and whatnot. And, they always try and downplay. They always want to say, hey, look, you're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm doing better than great.
Yep.
We need to talk about this. So I have no problem doing that because when you're the one out there making decisions on multi-millions of dollars worth of work,
Yep.
Yeah, you deserve to get paid.
That's it.
All right. I get to do what I get to do, or we get to do what we get to do. And I love this because we started doing YouTube just over 7 years ago. And we did it to try to grow a company. And I got to tell you, it worked. We were able to grow our company, scale our company, and then sell our company. Well, the cool thing about it is that I kept doing YouTube. I became, man, the guy that talked about plumbing. And I want you to think about what niche, what industry, what profession you're in. Because anybody in the United States right now can go to YouTube and search plumbing and they find me. What if they could search you? What if you say, well, Roger, if you own plumbing, I can't. Oh, no. But maybe you can own plumbing Las Vegas. If I've got a plumbing company in Vegas, that's exactly one that I would want to own. You've got to figure out how to do that. And YouTube isn't the problem. It's you thinking that it won't work. That's the problem. Because it doesn't take a lot of fancy equipment. It doesn't take a lot of viewers. It doesn't take a lot of followers. It takes you starting. And I've put together a free webinar to help you get started. If you want to learn more about YouTube and how you can use it to grow your business, go to justmetroger.com and check it out. And then after you do, come back in here and let me know exactly what you think about it. This video is also sponsored by Residential Service Professionals. If you're in the trades, any trades, and you work for residences, you do residential work, go check out residentialserviceprofessionals.com. It's a best practice group that's put together automation to help you do more with less time. And if you think that won't change the way you live the rest of your lifestyle, I promise you it will. So go check out residentialserviceprofessionals.com. Squirt, tell us about that other sponsor, the good one.
I was going to say, today's show is also sponsored by LeakPro. And they're the leaders in helping plumbers take leak detection into their own hands, guys. And honestly, that's the truth. Because, guys, the reason I build the tools and equipment is to help plumbers out. My whole family's plumbers, like I said early in the show, if you're here. That's the reason I build the equipment. I want to put the right equipment in plumbers' hands because I always heard the stories, man, lost another leak detection job to the leak detection guy. They ended up fixing it. Guess what? Most of the leak detection trucks I see now, there's a master plumbing license number on it. Why? Because they're doing all the repairs. Quit losing that out to the third parties. Bring it in-house. Check out our equipment. It's pretty simple. It's like geophones on steroids, guys, is the best explanation I have for it. All you old school guys understand what I'm talking about. But I always suggest checking out the complete kit because there's two different devices that I build. I built a probe, which is a T-handle style solid block of aluminum up top with a stainless steel rod. It's real durable for probing in and out of the ground. That's what we prefer for that meter to the home service. Any underground irrigation lines, things like that, the probe's awesome. But I always say check out the complete kit because it also comes with that sidekick. The sidekicks are pistol grip style, but it's got an aluminum rod. And that aluminum rod, it's a less dense metal, so it enhances the sound even more. And that's what we love when you go into a home, you're listening through a slab on grade, even driveways, sidewalks, patios, stuff like that. That sidekick's great because it eliminates that layer of concrete that you're listening through. So I suggest checking out the complete kit at our website, leak.pro. But if you're not familiar with how to do leak detection, I always suggest doing the training. You can come spend a couple days with me. I've got a slab out there with 11 leaks under it. I'll teach you how to locate the lines. Then we'll do pinpoint locating under the slab. Then I also have one outside of the slab, so you're familiar with what that sounds like on that probe also. But then I've got a couple sewer systems set up, one cast iron and one PVC, where we can teach you how to go through and do some testing from that double clean out outside of the home to determine exactly where a sewer system's leaking. So give me a call if you want to talk about the training or the equipment. You can call me at 1-8888-LeakPro. I'd love to talk to you about the equipment or the training, guys.
And here's the deal. If you're a service tech or a project team dealing with slab leaks or underground problems, this training is a game changer. Randy walks you through the acoustic and the tracer wire so you know where the lines are, shows you how to isolate sections on sewer, both cast iron and PVC, how to take your notes to make sure you document it clearly. No more guessing, no callbacks. This helps you solve all your problems faster. And guys, I'm telling you, I've seen Randy send people through this training or take people through it, and it's freaking amazing. If you're not going through the training, you're not learning how to grow your business and how to use your business in a way nobody else is. All right, we're going to roll over into all trades. Constraint boards make blockers visible. Ever had a crew show up only to stand around waiting for materials or for answers? That's the constraint. And a good constraint board can fix that. Break blockers into 3 buckets: a material blocker, an access blocker, and an information blocker. Each one gets a card with the owner, date, logged, ETA, next action, and escalation plan. Now, Randy, did y'all ever do stuff like this? Or did you put this into your deal where you talked about it?
No, like we would talk about some constraints just kind of like in general, but I thought this was just genius. I'm like, dude, I would love to see a constraint board color coded. So guess what? You just kind of walk through that job trailer real quick and go, oh crap. Oh, I better get my guys done out of this
That's
area and
on
get
me.
moving.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's so easy to see. And I was like, man, this is kind of genius. Like I love seeing the schedule being color coded and everything, but I like this constraint board even more, I think, because then it's like, look, you don't want to be on that board for any reason. Try to stay off of it. That's it. And if you are, guess what? It's okay. Deal with it quick. That's why you want to check this every day. And a board like this, I just think is awesome. It's perfect communication to keep your job running smooth. And that's how it all should work. But you can,
if you run this daily, Randy, and talk to people about it, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah. And if you start to get behind, clear the oldest ones first and then celebrate it whenever you do, because that's going to keep your momentum of knocking the next ones out and getting them complete to open up that space for the next person, guys, because we're all just trying to get the building complete. That's what we're all there for, to do our jobs and install our work. Imagine that.
It's crazy how that works, isn't it?
It is. But you can also take this and you can tie it into your delivery schedule and your look ahead planning so that whenever you've got that constraint log that way, all those get filed. Everybody knows where the delay was and who caused it. And I love that. You could take photos, like if you just do the board, take a photo of the board. That way you've got it. You can carry it around with you. You can send it to your guys. Hey, we need to get on these things, whatever. It's simple, easy communication. And then you're letting them see the same thing you see when you walk through that job board. I think that's pretty cool and smart. Track your metrics. Make sure that you're staying on top of this enough that you're not letting things slip too long to where you're actually getting fined for causing some of these constraints to other people. Because if you hold a crew up too long and they've got to stay on that project longer than they were built into their estimate, that creates change orders. Those typically get sent back to whoever caused that constraint. So don't let it bite you.
Yeah, it's not good. Okay, Randy, and I'm gonna let you talk about this next one because I saw this and I thought, Randy loves this stuff.
I do, and I need to get one. Just I really do, and play and have some fun. Because drones aren't just toys, even though that's what I want to do with it. They're tools now. Okay. And if you are flying commercially, guys, you do have to have a Part 107 remote pilot certificate. But you've also got to check your airspace before every single flight. And I learned this from our videographer. He's like, because he was drone certified and everything. He's like, no, I've got an app. You've got to open this to see where you can and can't fly and what's allowed, how high you can go, things like that. There's limits. If you've got night work, you're going to need anti-collision lights on your drones and some additional training. It's different. Okay. You can't just see everything you're doing always. So you're going to have the extra training for night. You've got to have lights so that everybody can see it and knows that it's there. It's just part of the requirements, guys. If you're flying over people, you've got to know which aircraft category that you fall into. 1 to 4. Okay. And guys, you got to respect privacy. No filming into homes or clearly identifiable workers. Post drone operation notices in the trailer. Look, we do use drones on this site to monitor, maintain, whatever. You've got to call that out. It needs to be signage that you are using the drones. And also, each time you do fly one, you need to have a pre-flight packet. Okay. Screenshots of the airspace, your flight plan, your emergency procedures, and who's actually observing it. Because whenever it's on a job site and there's other people involved, everything's got to be laid out exactly to what's going on so that everybody can plan their work around this if they need to. But you've got to know where your imaginary imagery is stored, where it actually goes to, where it saves, who can actually access it, and for how long they can access it. And whenever it's time to deliver, progress photos, stockpile volumes, or model verifications, make sure that it's actually usable. You can open it. They can actually function it on the file system that it's there. You're going to have to check some of these things and get yourself familiar with that. But I think drones are so cool. Like some of the drone racing, I think of the fun side first, but I love the things that we can do nowadays with it. Roof inspections, inspecting scaffolds. That was one of the things that I was just like, oh my gosh. You know how long it takes to go up and down to inspect a scaffold sometimes? A long time. You got a drone you can fly through? Half the time, I guarantee it. Definitely less energy.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, drones can get in areas a lot quicker and easier than we can. Man, when you get up there and look at it and look at the different things going on, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a no-brainer. Get up here and show how crystal clear that is. We've got drones now with 4K and 8K cameras. Man, you can take that video footage and blow it up and say, look, there's a hell dot right there. Pretty freaking wild. Now, I've seen one drone that they flew down under a house that they had done a tunnel job on and actually flew it all the way through the tunnel and came out the other side.
Yeah.
I want to get that good, but that takes a whole lot of practice.
That's it.
Absolutely. All right. So we are going to roll into
business training.
Business training. I know. And I love this because I remember the first time I went to a postmortem. And I thought, man, what is a postmortem? And they're like, well, that's when we take the job. We bring the project manager, the superintendents, the foreman. We bring everybody in a room and we break it down into different aspects, everything from the rough end to the top out to fixtures. And I think the first one I went to, we spent about 6 hours going into great detail. And you had the estimator, you had the salesperson, The estimator talk about an area and how he bid it. The project managers talk about the hours that we used. And then the superintendent or foreman would talk about the problems that we had or where things went better than expected. Most estimating errors don't come from the math, they come from assumptions. And after every job that you can, run a postmortem. It may be 20 minutes, it may be a day.
Yeah.
Compare your estimates to actual labor, materials, and subcontractor cost and logistics. And the thing that you gotta remember here is it depends upon the superintendents and foreman coding everything accurately. Did they charge the hours to the actually job that it worked on? Or did they hoard them and say, look, I've got a stash over here. You know, I've got 500 hours that I can spend as I need to. And there were some points on the job I had that many hours because I did things different. And I was able to save a crap ton of them.
Yep.
And it works. But what you're trying to figure out is did the scope creep? And Randy, explain scope creep. Explain what that is.
Yeah, so, like, scope creep is where there's things that need to be done, wasn't necessarily called out in your scope of work. It's what I like to call a gray area. It's a change order. All the PMs love them because somebody has to pay for that.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you have it clearly excluded, your butt's covered. But one of the major things that I see and saw in estimating that would make us lose some jobs, they overestimated because the assembly that they grabbed to use.
Mm-hmm.
Some engineers require extensive assemblies for a build out. Some not so much. They don't want a couple of the extra valves that we put into our assemblies. Oh no, we don't need that. We don't want that on this job. Well, you bid the wrong assembly. Guess what? You could lose the job. You could win the job and not have enough parts in that assembly. You've got to do these things and look back at it. Cause like there was a job where they forgot balancing valves in an assembly. Everything was there except the balancing valve. But there were a lot of units on this project and it ended up being like $500,000. It happens, guys. It was all because of an assembly. They missed that one piece.
Wow.
So small things like, and that's it. It's not the math. It's the assembly that they used because they thought they had it. They thought they clicked it or whatever it was. Oh, it wasn't actually in the assembly. They didn't double check it after they were done. So don't let them bite you in your butt and use these meetings to actually go through and adjust things. That's something that I learned big time in the industrial group was one of the things I kind of learned to ask was, hey, which superintendent are y'all going to have if we get this project?
Yep.
Oh, well, we would try to put this person on that. Okay, good. Then I know how they run jobs because I knew a lot of the superintendents. So it was like, ooh, okay, I can build it more for that person to actually run that job. And I know what I can do on hours because some were better than others. And we know that. So you can actually play that into your markups and percentages to adjust your labor factors. So I always enjoyed that.
And what I like about these postmortems is it lets you figure out where your production rates off. Did the foreman have everything they needed? But this also helps you on the next one because now you can adjust your labor factors, your waste percentages, specific SKUs that you use in future estimates, and tag those lessons by system and building type. That way, when you do another one like it in the future, you know what kind of problems you had. And it's a big deal. It'll help you learn a lot. I'm going to jump down the questions real quick. Matt says 8-hour fire watch. Man, I always got stuck with multiple jobs. So I would get stuck with 16 hours of fire watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt says, I think you'll be ready to run a company in Vegas, or you think you'll be ready to run a company in Vegas? Well, at least that's not that crazy hot here. I love the Texas weather, brother.
Yeah.
Go LeakPro. One of these days, I'll get out there for training. Says I also wanted to see you build one. I'll call you about your car's extended warranty. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Matt says, all right, gentlemen, got to go finish out the day being a hero. Happy Fabulous Friday. Have a great weekend and go LeakPro. Roger, have fun. Squirt. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Yeah. Love you. Bye. Brother, you be good. Be safe out there and have a great Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, Randy. Vehicle trailers, GPS beacons, and anti-theft. This is a big
Yes.
deal these days.
Man, it is, because honestly, trailers are a hot target for theft. Guys, hooking one up and taking off with it, if you don't have it protected, it's pretty easy to do. I grew up in the country dealing with horses and hauling stuff all the time, so I know a lot about trailer theft. More than I ever wanted to know, I feel like. But guys, honestly, step one, hide a GPS beacon inside the trailer. Okay. Not just in the cab of it or anything. Choose models that have their own batteries and test the geofence alerts. You want to know, set it, lock it down, drag it off. See how far it gets before it triggers the alarm that says, hey, it's moving. Is this you? Find out. Also, you can use layered locks. Of course, coupler wheel and puck locks. Okay. Upgrade your hasp to ones that actually resist grinders.
Okay, and Randy, I
Go ahead.
gotta tell you, we had the lock that goes up in the ball,
Yeah.
and the big head that goes over it, and all that.
Uh-huh.
And they had come out. So, and I got all this on video. It was hilarious. I don't think I have it anymore because I got rid of that security system. But they had come out and cut all of it off, backed the truck up, and they kept trying to set it up on the ball, and it wouldn't go on. And they tried it for about 2 minutes and finally got pissed off and drove away. They never unhooked it and unlocked the tongue where the ball would fall out. No, where the ball would fall.
Yeah,
They cut everything off of it, but they left that little yellow ball that goes up in it, and they couldn't get it to set down on their ball. They finally got mad and drove off. It's like, look, if you're going to be a thief, don't be a freaking stupid one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're out there.
All right.
Another good one is like Park Smart. Okay. Nose in to barriers if you can in well-lit areas. Cameras. Yes, definitely. Especially if it's a normal place you park your trailers. But honestly, better yet, hitch post at your yard. Get some anchored in and chain that trailer to it. Yeah, grinders, they'll be able to cut it. I get that. Every step that you can put in that deters them is going to help, because at some point they're going to be like stupid enough to go, oh, I ain't even trying to deal with all that. That's just too much. That's too smart for me. Nope. They really want to keep their trailer. I'm going to let them keep it. I'm going to find another one. It's a lot easier. Take weekly photos of your inventory and keep a QR coded list taped inside. If a theft happens, have a protocol. Whose job is it to call the police? Who shares the GPS link? Who sends that over? And what you give to the insurance. You may even get a premium credit for being proactive and having these things done so that you can track your vehicles. They're going to give you a little discount. Why? Because they're going to be able to actually find it. Most of the time, they'd never find it because trailers are tough to pin down if you don't know exactly where the trailer is.
And Randy, I like it because this is a trackable card.
Yep.
I've got one in my truck. I've got them in my Jeep. I've got them in my motorcycle. I've got them in my billfold. These things, if you climb in and take my Jeep, don't get me wrong, after a while, it's going to tell you, hey, you know this, you're being tracked. Because if you've got an Apple, it tells you that way, you know, which I think is crazy. I think they should turn that on. But it's kind of funny.
Okay, so if I take your motorcycle, I got to remove the card. Got it.
You got.
I mean, leave it in so you can find me.
Good luck finding that one. I'm just telling you, I got creative on those.
I bet. Oh, I'm sure.
I got very, very creative on those. All right, guys, today we're talking about social media spotlight. We're talking about the OD company. And this is one of the best plumbing manufacturers using social media the right way. Their content is straightforward. They do how-tos that match what's actually in the code. Now, we've seen great clips on solvent welding. Think surface prep, set and cure times, soiled troubleshooting on trap primers, or solid troubleshooting on trap primers. You got to know how to work on those and how to find out what the problems is. This is great for apprentices. Watch the clips before going out on a job site. Foreman, drop the links in your morning huddles. Let the other guys see it. And then for bonus points, they got spec sheets and PDFs that align with what inspectors actually want to see. Squirt, talk to me about the OD channel.
Man, well, I don't know. I just felt like a little kick on these manufacturers. I pulled one up. It's like, man, we're doing plumbing. Let's pull up one. And
OD go.
they've been doing some great things. We talk to them every trade show we ever see them at. Always great team to talk to. Got to enjoy some dinners with them, things like that. It's been a great time. But wanted to pull them up. The choice of plumbing professionals since 1916. Okay? Guys, it's over a century. That's one of my favorites. I love these companies that have been there forever supporting the trades. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and pull this up. They've been on YouTube since 2010. They got you beat by a lot, except for here. They got 25,000 subscribers, 941 videos, and over 19 million views. So they are doing great things. Guys, if you're a plumber out there, I know that you know who OD is because you've been using them forever. I've used their glues and primers for, I guess, since I started, probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I like it because it's manufacturers. And guys, that's something we were talking about yesterday when we were looking at one at the manufacturers is you get to go and learn the way the manufacturer tells you to use their product, install their product, use their tools, things like that. Right ways to use their thread sealers, things like that. New products that come out, you get to see on these and kind of stay current with the new stuff coming out. And they've actually got some really cool stuff that we've even got to see. It's what we love about going to the trade shows. It's funny because one of the last plumbers that came in for training, he's like, man, I've got to start going to trade shows. Like I've heard y'all talk about them and how nice it is. It's like, man, that's how you stay current with the latest and greatest that's coming. You really everybody loves to show them off because it's that first quarter of the year. And they really come out with some new cool stuff. But in here, they've been doing it a long time, showing just a bunch of installs, some actually on the job where other people use it and stuff like that, where every product actually fits and works. And that's something I like about coming to the manufacturer sites and stuff like that. Most popular, how to install OD shower pan liner. It's a tough thing to do sometimes. I've seen so many people have leaks on shower pans. Glad I got to learn the right way to actually do them and seal them the right way so that I don't have to deal with that too much. And then I got away from plumbing. I went to that pipe fitting world and loved it. But shower pans, liners, things like that, it is a skill, and you definitely want to watch some videos to learn the right way to do it if you don't know how, because it's a very intricate thing to keep everything from actually leaking when you have seams and have to have them. Solvent welding, how to use the glues and primers, plumbers, putty, different things. And I love that because some people don't even know where plumber putty is actually used. And it's good to come to some of these manufacturer locations. And I like to see more manufacturers doing this too. And that's something that I'm happy to see.
Yeah. And you and me both, because a lot of them aren't. I mean, and I hate to say it, a lot of them aren't doing social media at all. But they've been doing some good stuff over at OD. I've talked to them many, many times.
Sure, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to roll over into best practices. And I'm going to talk about it because, one of the things that we see all the time are contractors that want to stand out in a crowded market. Now, there's a lot of other best practice groups out there, and there's a lot of them that are just trying to put you in their certain system. And they promise a proven system for success and differentiation. Normally what happens is you join and you start adopting all their recommended branding, marketing, messages, all the services, everything they tell you to do. And don't get me wrong, it can be overwhelming. I remember the first time I joined a group, I said, what do I start with? They're a best practice group. You would think that they would know what works best for people. And they're like, well, you need to figure out what's going to be best for you. Here's a whole book of everything that we offer. It's overwhelming. Then what happens is people start implementing. It happens. You try to implement everything you can. Then you realize that several other local companies are also part of this same practice group or same best practice group. They're all using the same branding elements, the same sales scripts, the same direct mail pieces. Everything looks the same. And then the disaster occurs when a longtime customer says, hey, I got the same offer from 3 different companies today. Then the contractors realize that they haven't really differentiated themselves. They have commoditized themselves. They're now competing in a race to the bottom with others who are using the exact same playbook. What good contractors are starting to realize, they're starting to break away from the clone army. They're starting to break away and say, look, I don't want to look like everybody else. Joining Residential Service Group, which focuses on our residential service professionals, which focuses on identifying the contractor's unique value proposition, building a brand narrative, building a brand book, and service experience that is impossible to copy. If you build a service experience for your customers are going to love you forever. Then they're coming through and they're saying, look, now we want to rebuild our identity. We want to create true differentiation. We want to secure their position in the market as the market leader, not just another lookalike. I remember joining a best practice group, and I remember flying down to Houston because that's where they did it. You had to go through their training day, and you come in and look at it, and that, man, they're great. They are really, really good. They have hardcore salespeople that know what words to listen for, that know what words to plan in your head, and they close you. And I think the first check is $25,000, and then it's about $4,000 a month. And it takes a while. It takes a while to get in and realize that now you're locked in. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing to do because you've spent a lot of money. If you want to join a best practice group, you want to build the business the way you want it built, a best practice group can teach you the right way and the wrong way to do things. I know people that have never been in a best practice group and do millions of dollars a year. But I think that there are right ways to do things, and learning those ways can help you. If this is something you're interested in, go to residentialserviceprofessionals.com and check it out. And then if you want to, reach out to me. I'll talk to you. I'll connect you with Julie and see what we can do to teach you the right way to do things. I get to teach the marketing. She gets to teach the leadership and management. So it really works out well. Again, go to residentialserviceprofessionals.com. And me and Randy get to do everything we do because we started YouTube. I started it 7.5 years ago. Special shout out to Randy because as of yesterday, he's been here 3 whole years.
Woo!
Pretty freaking cool. But guys, if you want to learn how to do YouTube, go to justmattroger.com. Check it out and let me know what you think.
And everybody, we'd also like to thank LeakPro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us get to come in here, hang out for an hour every Monday through Friday and get to talk the trades. And at LeakPro, we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit at our website, leak.pro. Check out the complete kit. It's the business in a box, has both pieces of equipment that covers you for indoors or outdoor leaks. If you're not familiar with how to do leak detection, give me a call because I offer a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. So give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd love to talk about the equipment or the training with you and how we can help you learn this for your future.
And guys, if you've got the tools, but you're not getting the training on it, man, it makes it rough because if you don't know everything that tool can do, you don't know what it sounds like, you don't know how confident you are walking away saying, oh my God, look at all these leaks I found. So it's definitely worth checking out. And if you're in Dallas, today I'm over at the meeting place over off Midway Road, co-working, connect, and community. The meeting place, this is a really cool place. We've got a good spot here that we can do some neat stuff at. So If you're in Dallas, whether I'm here or not, come by, check it out. It's a neat place to be. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC techs, roofers, anybody in the trades, remember, it's Friday. It's when most people get hurt. So do whatever you have to do to take care of you, take care of your people, and do things right. Whatever you do out there today, do it safe and have fun.
Everybody, happy freaking Friday. Like he said, stay focused for the rest of the day. But guys, get out there, hit it effing hard. You know we will. And I'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Bye, guys.